welcome back to C2 Novel and Vocab Week 15. Thank you for joining me, and if you've already watched the videos, you know what to do. Skip to the first word, but if this is your first time watching, stay and listen. So, hello! My name is Ms. Kimberly, and the goal of our session is to have students understand each word in our vocabulary workbook and be cognizant of some phrases from our novel that may be difficult for us to understand, and I'll be here to help you through it all. Our agenda is, first, we'll go over week 15 vocabulary. Second, go over extra example sentences. 3, in our next video, you'll go over difficult phrases from the novel. And 4, after both videos, you'll have to review and self-study. But why are we doing this? This is to help with your vocabulary acquisition. Basically meaning we're going to put more and more vocabulary words into our brain. By learning the definition, synonym, antonym, and the part of speech of the word, this can significantly improve your reading comprehension and enhance your contextual usage. Meaning you'll be able to not only know more words, but you'll finally understand what the book is trying to say. Next, we'll have to go over extra example sentences, and this is to help with your writing variation. By looking at a variety of example sentences with a specific vocabulary word, students can learn how to use the word in different sentence structures and make your writing a bit more varied and fun and interesting. So, without further ado, please go ahead and get your vocabulary workbook out and turn to week 15. And we'll start with number 1. If you don't have your book yet, please pause the video, go get it, and come back. Number 1, everyone repeat after me and say, otherwise. Otherwise. The synonym is alternatively, and the antonym is likewise. It is an adverb, and it means in another way. In our TED Talks, it says, I believe that aid agencies are very effective, but many people believe otherwise, meaning they have a different type of thought. Otherwise meaning in a different way. Let's read the example sentence together. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. You may think cats are easy pets to take care of, but I think otherwise. So this sentence is saying, although many people may think that cats are easy to take care of, the person who is saying this sentence doesn't think so. They think otherwise. They don't think cats are easy pets to take care of. And remember to write your example sentence, the one that we just read together, in this big white box. That's part of your homework. Let's go down here. It says, you should do your homework now. Otherwise, you won't have time to play later. Meaning, or else, or in another way that you're thinking, you're not going to have the time, so you should finish it now, just like how you are doing with this video. Good job. In the next part, it says, we need to hurry up, otherwise we'll miss the bus. So, they're saying we need to hurry up, or else we won't catch it. In another way, we won't be able to catch the bus. Otherwise. Everyone repeat after me and say, otherwise. Next, number 2, everyone say asset. Asset. The synonym is property, and it is a noun. It means something having value, such as a possession, meaning something that you own, that is owned by a person, business, or organization. So an asset is whatever you have that you own for yourself, or maybe another business or someone else. In our TED Talks, it says, the family does not own their home, their farm, or a car. Their only asset is a bicycle, meaning here they probably rent their home, probably pay money also for their farm, and also probably just rent their car. So it's nothing that's under their name, so it's not an asset. The only thing that they actually own is a bicycle. Let's read the example. Ready? 1, 2, 3. My house is a valuable asset because it is the most expensive property I own. Yes, usually people, their assets will be their house or their car, and mostly those are the most expensive, but maybe they have something else also. Let's look here. It says the library is an asset to the community because it provides free books and resources, meaning it's so valuable, something that people have as the library because they can go in and out and it has a lot of knowledge inside. Next one. It says a good education is an asset that can help you succeed in life. Good. As you continue to learn, whether it's Korean, English, math, science, all of this education is an asset for you when you are going to go to college and when you try to go get a job. Asset. Number 3, everyone say suspect. Suspect. The synonym is speculate, and the part of speech is a verb. It means to think or believe something to be true without having definite proof. We're not 100% sure, but we're guessing here. We're speculating. We're suspecting. In our TED Talks, it says, I am not sure, but I suspect that this problem will take a long time to solve. So we're not quite sure, but we think it may take a long time. Example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. I suspect my keys are in my car, but I am not sure since I have not checked. So you're like, I lost my keys, but I wonder where it is. Not here in the house. Maybe it's in the car. I suspect it to be in the car. Down here, it says, he started to suspect that his friend was lying about being sick because he saw him playing outside. So we're not quite 100% sure if it's a lie or not because we just saw him out there. He may be sick and playing, or maybe he's definitely just lying. Next one, it says the police suspect that the missing dog might be in the nearby park. So they're not quite sure, but they think the dog may be there. To guess, to speculate. Number 4, everyone say intermediary. Intermediary. The synonym is a mediator, and it is a noun. It means someone who passes messages or proposals between people who are unwilling or unable to meet. So what does that whole long definition mean? It just means the middleman. The middle person who is trying to solve the conflict or problem between these other two people who don't like each other. Intermediary, middleman. In our TED Talks, it says the 2 politicians did not want to meet in public, so they passed a message through an intermediary. So this person in the middle, they go back and forth and just, here's your message. Oh, okay, here's your message. Just goes back and forth. Let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. Mom acted as our intermediary when we refused to speak each other. So maybe you have a brother or maybe you have a sister that you don't like to talk to sometimes, or when you get into a fight. And in the middle of it, there's your mom as your intermediary, or your dad or your grandparent. Who knows? Or maybe the intermediary is just another sibling also. Over here, it says, an intermediary helps settle the argument between the 2 students who couldn't agree. So that could have been the teacher, another student, a principal, or someone else. Let's look at the next line. It says, teachers sometimes act as intermediaries when there are conflicts between students. Yes. Teachers will help you when you have a conflict with another student in class. They will act as the intermediary, trying to go in between and help you 2 out. Let's move on to our novel words. The first one, number 5, is sprawl. Everyone say sprawl. The synonym is recline, and it is a verb. It means to spread the arms and legs out carelessly and untidily while sitting or lying down. So here I'm just sitting very properly in my chair, but if I were to sprawl, you can't really see it on the camera, but I'd be like going like this and kind of just laying lazily on the chair. Sprawl. In our book, it says, the shaded benches on the town green were filled with people sprawling in the heat. So as you can see in the picture above, this man is just sprawling. He's like on the sofa with one leg up, one leg down, just having some relaxation. Let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. He is sprawling on the couch in front of the TV, relaxing his tired legs. Maybe he had a long day at work and he had to walk a lot, so maybe he just wanted to sprawl out. I love sprawling when I'm at home. It's like I melt into a sprawl. Over here, it says, after running around the playground, the kids sprawled on the grass to rest. Yes, I see lots of students when I'm at like the playground and stuff, they run around, and then they just fall on the ground and they sprawl out with their arms and legs spread out. Next one, it says, the cat sprawled across the bed, taking up all the space. Oh my goodness, yes, my cat Tuna would always do this. I have a big bed, but then she would take up more than half of the bed, and I would be like in my corner, like, oh no, Tuna, please move. You're sprawling too much. To sprawl. Number 6, everyone say coop up. Coop up. The synonym is confine, and this is a phrasal verb because it has 2. It means to keep someone or something inside a building or in a small space, especially for a long period of time. And this was one of my idioms that I went over in one of our novel videos a long time ago. Coop up. In our book, it says, old people who didn't want to be cooped up in their houses all day. Basically meaning you're just trapped inside somewhere. You're cooped up like a chicken coop. Next, let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. I've been cooped up in my house all day since the weather has been terrible. Yes, when it is super rainy and cold and windy, we may not go outside and we may be a bit cooped up inside in our houses since we can't leave. Let's look here. It says, the cat doesn't like being cooped up in the carrier during trips to the vet. Let me compare this to my cat again. Yes, Tuna hates being cooped up in her carrier. Whenever I used to take her to the vet and we had to put her in the carrier, because it's like so small, right? She hates being cooped up there. She would go, meow, and she would always make meow noises. Next one, it says, being cooped up in the classroom for hours made the students restless. So I know that maybe sometimes at school when you guys have rain, right? You have to have indoor recess and you can't go outside. You may feel a bit cooped up and feel a bit tired because you're locked in all day. Number 7, everyone say vat. Vat. It is a tub and it's a noun because it's a thing and it means a large container used for storing or holding liquids, especially in a factory. You wouldn't have a vat at home unless you live in a huge factory, but I doubt it. I doubt you have a vat at home. In our book, it says, it was like getting dunked in a vat of just melted ice cream. I think I would like that. That'd be kind of cool. Let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. The chemical plant required a specialized vat for storing liquids. So this chemical factory needed a special type of vat so that maybe these chemicals and harmful, dangerous toxins couldn't come out? Maybe. Let's look here. It says the workers filled the large vat with milk to make cheese. Also, we would put milk in here and then the vat would just turn and turn and turn until it was made into cheese. Next one, it says a giant vat of chocolate was stirred constantly by the machine. Would you like a vat full of chocolate? I know I do. I love chocolate. And having a huge vat with it would be awesome. Number 8. Our word is permit. Permit. The synonym is authorization and the antonym is ban. It is a noun and it means an official document that allows a person to do something or go somewhere. It's basically saying you have permission to do whatever you want, but it's on a piece of paper. In our book, it says, no, I mean a permit to sell food and beverages in a public space. That's when I believe Evan was trying to sell his lemonade somewhere where he was not allowed to and he needed a permit. Do you remember? Let's read the example. 1, 2, 3. I finally received my permit from the city so I can build my dream home. So maybe you own a piece of land, but you can't just build anything on top of it. You need a permit from the city, from the government, from the town hall. Over here, it says you need a fishing permit if you want to catch fish at a lake. And I'm not quite sure if that's true in Korea, but 100% sure that you need a permit to fish in a lake. I think people just go out fishing anywhere that they want here, but I'm not quite sure. I don't know much about the Korean law. I'm sorry. Maybe you guys can look it up and let me know in one of your papers and put it in the mission box. Next one, it says she got a permit to park her car in the special parking area near the stadium. Yes, when there's a baseball game, you may need a special permit so that you can park closer so that you don't have to walk a really long way. Permit. Number 9, everyone say privilege. Privilege. The synonym is a benefit, and it is a noun meaning a special right or advantage that a particular person or group of people has. So it's basically saying a benefit that you have, a privilege, something, a special right. In our book it says, and pay a fee for the privilege. Pay the town hall to run a lemonade stand. So privilege, meaning you having the extra ability to do it. Let's read the example together. It says, 1, 2, 3. The exclusive event was a privilege reserved only for VIP guests. So maybe they had like a huge party, right? I think that's a party in our picture. I think so. It's a huge party, and only VIP guests have the privilege, have the benefit, have the ability to go to it. Let's look here. It says having a smartphone at a young age is a privilege that not everyone has. So if you have a smartphone right now, you're lucky. That's a benefit. That's something that not all kids have, right? Some students can't get a cell phone until high school. Some students can't get a cell phone until maybe university. I don't know. But right now at 3rd grade, it may be a huge privilege to have one at such a young age. So thank your parents. Next one, it says, it's a privilege to be able to travel and see different parts of the world. Again, not everyone is able to take vacation every summer and winter break, but some of you have the privilege to. It's a special right and a benefit that you have. So go on and explore. Let's go to the next page, and we're on number 10. Everyone say persistent. Persistent. The synonym is determined, and the antonym is yielding. It's an adjective, and it means refusing to give up or let go. So you keep going and going and going, as the picture says up there. In our book, it says, on good days, Jessie's mom called her persistent, meaning she never gives up. She keeps going and going and going. Example, let's read together. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. If you're persistent and you do not give up, you may be able to achieve your dreams. Yes, keep going. Don't ever give up. You gotta do it. Here, it says the persistent student kept practicing until he finally solved the math problem. Wouldn't you feel so great after finishing a math problem that you were stuck on for a long time? I know that I would feel very, relaxed and relieved that I was persistent enough to finish my math problem. Next one, it says the dog's persistent barking got everyone's attention, meaning this dog did not stop barking. It kept ruff, 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 and then everybody was like, okay, what do you want, dog? Persistent. Number 11, everyone say longingly. Longingly. The synonym is yearningly, and it's an adverb. It means in a way that relates to the feeling of wanting something or someone very much. You're like, oh, I really want it. And you look at it longingly. You're like, Longingly. You really want it. In our story, it says, she looked longingly at Wilbur and Fern watching Charlotte hanging by a thread. So she's like, oh. Because remember, Jessie wanted to read her book, but she wasn't able to because she had to keep making money. Next one. Let's read together. 1, 2, 3. The woman looked longingly at the pretty shoes in the shop window. So maybe sometimes you went to the department store and you see some woman, she's just staring at the shoes in this window. She's like, I really want those shoes. To stare longingly. Here it says, he stared longingly at the candy on the shelf, wishing he could have some. I wish I had some candy on my shelf. I would just eat it. Next one, it says, as they walked by the bakery, the children stared longingly at the cakes in the window. They're like, I want some cake. But they weren't able to eat it. Maybe. Who knows? Number 12, everyone say liner. Liner. It is a noun and it's another word for a large ship for carrying passengers in comfort on long journeys. It looks kind of like a cruise ship, right? So we call it an ocean liner. In our book, it says, he swallowed so hard, it looked like he was choking down on an ocean liner. And you see like that big gulp. It's like, ocean liner. Next one, example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. The luxury liner sailed through calm waters. Wow. So as you can see up there, that's a luxury liner right there. It's very luxurious and it's like just peaceful on the water. Here, let's read here. It says, the passengers boarded the ocean liner, excited for their journey across the sea. So if you've ever been on a cruise ship, that'll kind of be like a liner. I've actually never been on one because I'm kind of scared. Next one, it says, the storm caused the liner to delay its arrival by a few hours. So maybe it was coming, but there's a storm, so they just kind of stopped and just waited for the storm to pass, and then they kept going. Next one, number 13, everyone say avalanche. Avalanche. It is another word for flood, but not flood of rain. Let's keep going. It says a noun, and it's a sudden great amount or continuous stream of something. So an actual avalanche is when the rocks and whatever snow just fall down a mountain. But here we're using it as a different term. Avalanche here just means a big pile of things to do. In our book it says, Sally handed Jessie some crumpled bills and an avalanche of coins. $8 for Jessie and Megan each. Meaning she gave a big amount of coins, an avalanche, like a mountain. Let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. The avalanche of emails in my inbox made it impossible to keep up with my work. In other terms, it's just saying that I have a lot of emails that I need to read and do work on. Here, it says the avalanche of homework made him feel overwhelmed and unsure where to start. Sometimes you also may feel like you have an avalanche of homework. Schoolwork, academy, English academy, science academy, math academy, maybe homework from your parents. It feels like an avalanche, but don't worry. Keep going and be persistent, and then you'll finish soon. Next it says, an avalanche of toys fell out of the closet when she opened the door. And my, I am also very guilty of this. When I was younger and my mom said to clean my room, don't do what I did. When my mom told me to clean my room, I would just stuff all my toys into my closet, close the door, and be like, Mom, I'm done. But then when I opened it, an avalanche of toys and clothes would come out and I'll be buried in it. Not a good way to clean the room. Number 14, everyone say precise. Precise. The synonym is detailed and the antonym is inaccurate. It's an adjective and it means very careful and exact about the details of something, meaning you're very meticulous. That's another hard word, but you're very careful to be 100% correct. In our book, it says, Jessie was very precise. She was good at getting the marble to go into the cup. So precise meaning she was very careful about all of the details. Let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. The technician is very precise, so he always checks his work carefully. So maybe he's, doing some work, but then making sure that everything is correct, he has to be precise and careful and detailed. Here, it says his measurements had to be precise for the bookshelf to fit perfectly in the room. That's when I was making measurements in my other room, the small room, right? I had to put a bookshelf in there, and I accidentally got it wrong. I was not precise, so the bookshelf was too big. It didn't fit, so I had to move the bookshelf to a different area. Next, it says she gave precise directions so her friend wouldn't get lost on the way. Instead of just saying, okay, so when you go straight, take a right, and then go left, and then turn around. You can say, okay, so go straight until you see the stop sign, and then take a right. After you see the candy store, then take a left. You have to be precise, being more detailed. Now, let's move on to our textbook words, everyone. Number 15, the word is astonishment. Everyone say astonishment. The synonym is amazement, and the antonym is boredom. It's a noun, and it means extreme surprise. And in our book, it says, as the grown-ups watched in astonishment, a new language was born. So when they're like, oh, wow, just like our picture above, extreme surprise. Next one, it says, oh, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. She gasped in astonishment as she watched the shocking documentary. So she was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is all true when she was watching a documentary. Or maybe, I like to watch documentaries about the wildlife and of sea life down under. I also gasp in astonishment sometimes because it's so cool. Here, it says, she couldn't hide her astonishment when she opened the gift and found a new bicycle. So she was opening this box and then all of a sudden she sees a bike and then she's like, oh my goodness, I love it. Maybe because she wanted a bike for a long time. Next one, I love this sentence. It says, the teacher's astonishment was clear when all the students got perfect scores on the test. I also had one class and they all got 100% on the vocabulary test, and I was like, oh my goodness, good job, everybody. And I gave everybody an extra $1. Next, 16, everyone say deaf. Deaf. The part of speech is an adjective, and it means lacking the power of hearing. We can't hear. In our book, it says, for many years, children who are deaf in Latin American country of Nicaragua were kept hidden, unfortunately. So when they were deaf, they were kind of just put away. They didn't go to school or anything. It's quite sad. Over here, up there, let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. Many deaf people use sign language to communicate since they cannot hear. And you know what I love about the Korean news? That there's another person, just like in our video like this, right? And you see me in a small box or a small circle on the bottom. There's also a person doing sign language for the news, which I think is so great to have in Korea. Let's look down here. It says, the deaf man's doorbell turns on and off the lights to alert him that someone is at the door. There are many different types of doorbells also, but for a deaf man, since he can't hear the ding-dong, they would just turn off and flicker the lights. Next one, it says, the deaf woman enjoyed watching movies with subtitles so she could follow the story. So instead of seeing and listening to what it says, she would read the subtitles at the bottom. Or they could be doing some lip reading. Everyone say lip reading. It's a noun, and it means a way of understanding that someone is saying by watching the movements of his or her mouth. So if we're to say, I'm lip. Did you understand what I just said? I said, hi everyone, how are you? And usually if you're good at lip reading, understanding the way that my mouth moves without the sound, you'll be able to understand. In our textbook, it says they were not taught sign language or lip reading or how to write. So unfortunately, these students weren't able to do that. Let's read our example together. 1, 2, 3. Part of lip reading is watching how someone's mouth moves when they talk. Okay, so now everyone stop watching my lips. So I feel like everyone's looking at my lips now because we're talking about lip reading. But try it with your friends. Over here, it says, during the loud concert, he relied on lip reading to follow what his friends were saying. So because the music's so loud, you're like, hey, let's go. And you have to make your mouth a bit more pronounced when you're talking. Next one, it says, lip reading takes a lot of concentration because you have to carefully watch the speaker's mouth. So instead of looking at, a bird flying by or you see someone with your friend, you have to keep looking at the lips. Number 18, everyone say gesture. Gesture. The synonym is motion and it is a noun. It means a movement of hands, arms, or head, or etc., other body parts, to express an idea or feeling. So in our book it says, instead the children began to talk to each other with their hands. At first they just shared simple gestures. Like, what would that mean? It would probably mean hi or bye. Or if I be like the picture above, usually this gesture means okay. Let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. I could tell he agreed with my suggestion because of the gesture he made. Right? If we go like this, that means no, they don't agree. But if we go like this or like this, that means okay. Down here, it says the teacher used a hand gesture to signal that it was time to be quiet. What would that gesture be? Most teachers will go, or in American schools, we go like this, like a peace sign, because it means peace, meaning quiet, or we do both at the same time. Next one, it says the boy's shrug was a gesture that showed he didn't know the answer. So again, it's not just our hands and arms, but it could be any part of our body, right? So a shrug shows that they don't know the answer. And 19 on the next page, everybody. Repeat after me and say poverty-stricken. Poverty-stricken. The synonym is impoverished, and the antonym is affluent, which means really rich. So the opposite of really rich would be, yes, the definition, very poor. It's an adjective. And let's read our example sentence together. In extremely poverty-stricken areas, people lack clean water, food, and clothes. Meaning in very, very poor areas. Poverty-stricken. Here, let's read. Here it says they raised money to support schools in poverty-stricken countries where children couldn't afford education. So maybe they did some donating and some fundraising so that they could give some money away. Next, it says volunteers traveled to the poverty-stricken village to help build new homes for the residents. So I've also done this before, but I didn't build a home, but I did go to play with the children there when I was younger. We went to a poverty-stricken area to help them, have some entertainment, while I went with doctors, and the doctors would treat the parents. And number 20, everyone say lack. Lack. The synonym is to be without, and the antonym is possess, meaning to have. It is a verb and it means to not have or not have enough of something that is needed or wanted. So there is a lack of something. But here we're using it as a verb. So let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. Since he is new to the company, he lacks knowledge of our company's policies. So maybe he just doesn't know about the rules of this new company because he's new. And that's okay. He can get to learn to know them. Here it says she couldn't finish the project because she lacked the supplies she needed. So I remember a long time ago I would have to do these science projects at home. And I couldn't also finish because I lacked enough glue. I needed glue to put some stuff on my poster and I didn't have enough. I lacked it. Next one, it says his plants didn't grow well because they lacked sunlight. Oh no, maybe they were like, I don't know, maybe they put the plant in the closet where there's no sunlight. That means it lacked it, so it probably withered and did not grow. Lack. Woohoo! Everybody, good job! And as you can see, there is no mission for this week. You can see the mission in our next video for the novel. And I want to make sure there's some people who are doing the mission incorrectly. I wanted 3 sentences, 3 different sentences using 3 vocabulary words before. Do not put all 3 words into one sentence. Also, if the grammar is a bit off, I may not give you the whole $5 next time, okay? But yes, this week there's no mission, but please go to the next video to watch and for our novel mission. So now it is time for you to review and self-study. Review all of the words again, please. Read it out loud if you have not read it out loud with me. And then go ahead and complete your vocabulary homework pages. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.